Guys, if you haven't heard of our October giveaway,
go to Blaze.
Look below, click on the link, and you get a chance to win a free watch from phosphorwatches.com. Go click on that link and check out their watches. They have some really new state-of-the-art digital watches.
Here's the other thing. And once you find the one you like, just put in Kevin30 into the promo code and get $30 off your watch. Bam.
Yeah,
Don't say we never gave you
They're already affordable watches. We're trying to make them a little bit more affordable. Now, for all you people
Christmas in October,
how many
bitches.
times do we get people calling and say, hey, man, would you think I should do this trade? Do you think I should do this trade? Do you think I should do this trade? And we're talking fantasy football.
Yeah, it's nuts because let's face it, depending on what type of league you're in, you have to, weigh it out and figure it out. But, some people out there have made the job easy on you.
Got some friends that said, you know what, we're going to make this a little bit easy. So when you are kind of at your wits in and stuck and don't know if you should make a trade,
if you will.
Conundrum, you need to go to smartfantasytrade.com. You guys get a chance. smartfantasytrade.com. Check it out.
Sign up, and then you'll be able to propose your own trade. What you'll see when you get there first
you will see basically you will see that you need to go over there and check it out. But basically what it is it's a platform that allows you to put in your proposed trade, and then you show what you're giving away and what you're going to get, and people vote on it and tell you what they think, if it's a good trade, if it's not. So go over there, smartfantasytrade.com.
Great for you kids in those keeper leagues.
Yeah, definitely. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit. What do you want to talk about? College football or pro football first? I'm going to let you roll.
College.
College.
I like college better. Actually, you know what? Let's save college for the end. Let's talk about the NFL.
Okay, let's talk about the NFL.
I think the Packers did something we weren't sure that they could do, and that was score a lot of points again.
Yeah. They lit the fucking Texans up.
Which I didn't pick that.
Now, I think your mic said, fuck it, I quit. This is the one thing I was concerned about, and I will say this. I didn't think that the game would go the way it did, but you know what? When Brian Cushing went out, I was like, that doesn't look too good for the Texans. And you know what? Not that it's one player, but they're going to have to make some adjustments.
Right, give them a week or two, because this is the same team last year that won a playoff game with their third-string quarterback.
Exactly.
So, and their number one running back and number one wide receiver out.
Yeah.
So just give them a little bit of time.
Now, another big game was the Seahawks, the way they just shocked the Patriots. I don't think no one saw that coming. I didn't see it coming.
I think the Patriots have a problem of playing down to the level of competition.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because they've been, I'm not knocking the Seahawks and I'm not knocking the Cardinals,
right,
but they've been knocked off by both those teams.
Yeah, or either they just have something against the NFC West where they just don't show up.
Yeah.
They travel all the way across the country.
And the team that might be in the Super Bowl again decided to show up and beat the brakes off the 49ers.
Yeah, the Giants look fucking impressive. I mean, when the Giants...
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll be interrupting you in a second.
When the Giants come to play, they're good on both sides of the ball and special teams included, and it looks like they just...
who the Giants play this week?
They played the 49ers. Oh, no. They played this week? Oh, yeah. They're coming to we're going there to play Washington. But anyway, we'll get to that. But the problem is I think the 49ers have all the parts, but you know what? Sometimes you just really need that franchise quarterback, and I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. I think Alex Smith is good. He's a good quarterback. But he's not a great quarterback, and I think they're going to need a great quarterback to get him over that hump, especially in the NFC, because it's very competitive. And I think as much as everybody had them and they were the number one team picked to go to the Super Bowl and win it, I think that shit just slipping down the ranks, And I think the longer the season goes on, and I'll say it right today, I think people are going to figure them out. You need somebody like who we saw last night can make adjustments and get your troops together and rally some shit.
And to Kevin's, what he's alluding to there was the show that Peyton Manning put on for only 2 quarters. Yeah. And the epic meltdown of my favorite quarterback, Phil Rivers.
I knew you were jerking your dick when you were watching.
I enjoy nothing more than to watch that
3 picks and 2 fumbles.
Dude, that cross-eyed sloth, I enjoy nothing more than watching that baby raper just sit there and go, nah. And I know he doesn't rape babies, calm down. But I love watching him just fall to pieces. And I'm going to tell you, because you're older than I am, mm-hmm. I'm born in 1980, so there all you people know. Peyton Manning is the best quarterback I have ever seen play.
As he was doing it.
And I don't give a shit. Yeah. If he doesn't win another Super Bowl, unless somebody comes along, he is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play, because I've never, to this day, see another quarterback do what he does.
No, and he said, Gruden and them were saying in the booth, last night, they were like, he truly, and this is coming from coaches. There's like, he truly knows the offense is better than most offensive coordinator. I mean, defense is better than most offensive coordinators.
And the Matrix, when that motherfucker Neo starts to get it, and he sees that shit, and he just goes like this, and knocks the bullet down. That's what Peyton Manning sees at the line.
Yeah.
When your defense is there, all that shit turns to greens, ones and zeros. It's binary, and that Bama's like.
Did you see the play where he sat there and he was sitting there and he started making a calls at the line of adjustment? He was getting a little bit more protection just to form his pocket, and he went boop, and he hit I don't know if it was Decker or somebody, and then he stumbled. It would have been a fucking 72-yard touchdown. But
they call that deckering now, falling for no reason.
Deckering,
yeah,
deckering,
replacing Tebow.
It was not good. Anyway,
Falcons are still undefeated.
They're undefeated, 6-0. The Ravens are just like wow. Now let me tell you something. 13. Before this game, and Baltimore's actually close to us too.
I was happy to see them beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, at 5-1, I think. Of all the 5-1 teams, the Ravens were the most suspect. I think they had major problems on the defensive side.
Who was their one loss to?
The Eagles. The Beagles. But I think they were really suspect. Everybody's like, okay, they're a 5-1 team that doesn't actually look like a 5-1 team. And Green Bay's a 3-3 team that could be a 5-1 team. You get situations like that. But now that you've got your motivator and playmaker Ray Lewis out, and even probably more damaging to them, Webb, who they just paid a lot of money to, and it's a cover corner. They're for a defense that was already suspect. They're going to have a lot of fucking issues.
Browns finally got off the schneid and won a game.
Yeah, they did.
The Lions rallied late to beat the Eagles in overtime.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Now, George wanted to cruise past that, and you knows how you try to do it because George is an Eagles fan. Did you guys know that I wasn't going to let George slip on that shit? Now, what the fuck is happening? Now, you should be happy, George, seriously, because Juan Castillo is now gone.
Him. He's right back where he should be, on 95 selling roses and oranges. What?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
What?
Now, what do you think about this new guy they brought in?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
You better get rid of that wide 9 shit.
Yeah, that's not working.
Well, they got a bye week, so it's a good week to fire someone.
Now,
you know what the Eagles' record is coming off a bye week in the Andy Reid era?
What?
13-0.
Are you serious?
They've never lost coming off a bye week with Andy Reid. I think it's either 12 or 13, however long he's been there.
They're 13-0 coming off a bye week?
With Andy Reid as their head coach. I'm not kidding. I'm not making it up.
Are you serious? I'm going to show you. Well, go ahead. You go ahead because I'm going to.
Anyway, that gets us. The Eagles blew it. The Eagles had a lead. They should have won the game. Michael Vick stinks. They're leading the NFL in turnovers. They're god awful. Vick couldn't. Here's the difference. Here's the problem.
It's Mike Vick.
Yeah. We have an athlete who's playing quarterback. The Redskins, on the other hand, have a quarterback who's athletic.
Yeah.
If you can't wrap your head around that shit, I'm sorry.
And this is I'll give you a perfect example of it. We were talking about it in the gym today. They were like, oh, if RG3 keeps running, I'm like, guys, you guys don't understand.
He just needs to get out of bound in smarter times. Yeah. That's it.
He needs to protect himself a little bit better. He needs to learn how to protect himself a little bit better. But let me tell you something. If you're a corner and he starts to come towards the line of scrimmage,
you have to come up.
You got to have to come up, but you still, when he has the ability to throw a 70-yard bomb over your head, you think, okay, do I want to even stop? Do I want to even start to come forward? Because if this fucking guy gets behind me, it's a wrap. Because he can deliver the ball, and he's accurate.
And I told you I told you how I'd defend your team.
How?
I would take the most athletic. And he might not even be good enough, but I'm just saying the most athletic defender on my team who's not a starter or who can move into a role, and I shadow him.
Sean Taylor, if he was alive. That's the perfect example of someone good at doing it.
Because what RG3 presents, and I was watching the play, it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. I'm like, he's going to run the ball. It's going to be a quarterback draw. And it wasn't a designed run, but once he broke the line of scrimmage, no one was there. How can you not account for that kid to run?
It's this is the thing. The Redskins have everybody was on the Redskins line, but I'll make it real quick. We got the 4th leading rusher. Okay? Now, and what's wrong with me, man?
Alfred Morris?
Alfred Morris. I was thinking Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, okay? But this is what's crazy. RG3, okay, has more rushing yards this year than Sean Green, Michael Turner, Trent Richardson, DeMarco Murray, Steven Jackson, Chris Johnson, Darren McFadden, Matt Forte, Ryan Matthews, Cedric Benson. Those are some nasty fucking running backs. So I mean, it's not just him.
He's up against it this week.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
He's going to get
because there's a nasty front four that'll be able to get pressure on him without blitzing anyone. And when you have a front four like that, that means you can take one of those linebackers, try as you may. Because I don't think there's a linebacker in the NFL that can hang with RG3. Don't think it can happen. Yeah. I think you're going to have to use a corner or a safety.
Yeah,
somebody to slow him up.
Somebody's fast because you saw when he broke off on that last run. He was just like.
And let me tell you the other 2 things I took away from that game. Purple Jesus is a fucking man.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson.
He
that's Purple
runs
Jesus.
so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You are not tackling him by yourself.
No.
And the other thing is, Percy Harvin might quite possibly be the fastest motherfucker I have ever seen.
Fast.
And you know what they said?
What?
He was playing on a bum ankle.
Yeah. That boy athletic. That boy athletic. I'm just going to let you know right now, that boy athletic.
Like a water bug.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, he got the ball. I'm like, if you don't trip him up, the ass
Gone.
is an elbow.
See you later. Yep.
That Bama's robbed so many convenience stores.
No.
Just saying.
Just saying. Anyway,
Bills win, blah, blah, blah.
blah, blah, blah. Anyway, now let's roll on to college. College football. The BCS rankings came out this week. Everybody was excited
I don't think
to
anyone's
see.
shocked by the top. Well, I'm a little surprised that Florida's ahead of Oregon, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's because they play in the SEC.
And you're right. You know, sitting at number 1 is Alabama. Number 2 is Florida. Number 3 is Oregon. Number 4 is Kansas State. 5 is Notre Dame. 6 is LSU. South Carolina sitting at 7. Oregon State at 8. Oklahoma at 9. And USC rounds up the top 10. Now, who gives a fuck about all that? Because we know it's going to change a million times before now in the end of the college football season.
So the Big 12 has 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 has 3, and the SEC has 3. So that leaves Notre Dame. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, the SEC actually has 4. They've got Alabama, Florida, LSU, and South Carolina.
Oh, oops, missed that one. Sorry.
Yeah. They're almost half the fucking top 10 is from the SEC.
Right. Well,
normally Georgia's had 11.
So normally we go over what happened last week. I think the big news coming out of last week was the ass whooping that WVU caught. Yeah. I don't think anyone saw that coming, but Brian, and you said WVU was yet to go against the defense, and they did. The Texas Tech dropped 5 and said, "Good luck, Gino. They're all covered."
And to Brian's defense, it was funny because the one thing that was kind of suspect about WVU, even though I was going crazy about them, was the fact that I'm a Maryland Terrapins fan, and I saw that they played a close game with them, and I'm like, wow, you got the Terps. You know, you only beat the Terps 31-21. That kind of raised a couple eyebrows. And in Texas, it was just, I don't even know why Texas is in the top 25 in the BCS rankings.
They won't be long.
I mean,
they can't. Not playing like that. They are 25th. Yeah. Now, the other big news coming out of last week was South Carolina had the unfortunate, unenviable task of going into Death Valley, the real Death Valley, not Clemson. That's bullshit.
No,
South Carolina had to go into the real Death Valley, which is LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost the squeaker. They lost the game, in my opinion, they shouldn't have lost. But that's what happens when you play in the SEC and you play big boy football.
And you got to prepare every fucking, look at, like I said, Mississippi State. They're fucking undefeated. There's so many teams in the SEC, and it's, that's why we always went crazy about Boise State. And when you have to prepare week in and week out and stuff, it's just tough.
Did you see those god-awful pants South Carolina had on? The digital camo?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like the mugs.
Ugh.
Yeah, Marissa was like, those things are terrible looking. I was like,
they look like a fat chick spandex pants in a Zumba class.
Remember when Maryland's uniforms first came out?
Those motherfuckers are still rotten.
No, man, those mugs are
Nah, man, they look like shit. Little turtle shells.
But anyway.
Now, we're going to get on to this week. And what, to me, the biggest game of this week is South Carolina again.
Yeah.
They travel to Florida.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I got Florida.
Do you?
I'm just very impressed with Florida on both sides of the ball, but especially I'm really impressed with their defense so far. Especially impressed with their defense. I think the SEC
is the best conference in football. Go ahead.
Well, I already know that. We already know that. Unfortunately, I get so sick of it. I just want something to mix up, but I think
it's going to be mixed up this year.
Yeah, I think I
want Oregon to go undefeated. They won't.
And I'm happy my boys Oregon State. The Beavers, man.
You were just all about the Beaver.
Nice Beaver. but
so you're going with Florida?
I'm all about the Beaver, huh?
So you're going with Florida at home?
I'm going to Florida.
I'm going to go with South Carolina to pull the upset.
For real?
Yep.
Full shizzle?
Yep.
What, you want to bet a Philly milkshake on that shit?
Fine with me.
Remember that.
All
right. Y'all remember that shit. George going to owe me a Philly milkshake if I win that shit.
And what he means by that, there's a little spot up in Philadelphia called PYT, and they have an adult milkshake list.
See, George is fucked up, man. George knows how to get me. He's like, you ain't even been up to Philly yet, Kevin, right? I'm like, dude, I've been jammed up every fucking weekend. But you know what he does? He texts me pictures of food because he knows I'll drive 3 hours to get a good milkshake.
Dude, they have a vanilla milkshake that they put vanilla Stoli in. That's vodka for you kids who aren't old enough to drink.
Yeah.
And then they put a white cake and vanilla frosting cupcake in the top of it. Right. Look, follow me on Instagram. You'll see it. It's out there.
Yeah, that shit is tight.
Now, the other big game, at least to me, because we'll see if WVU can bounce back.
Right.
They get to play at home. They get to sleep at home. They get the home cooking, home field advantage, home everything. And them cats up in Morgantown don't play. Right. They come out to support their team. Right. And that's another reason why WVU gets invited to bowl games is because they travel.
Right.
But Kansas State, who's fourth in the country, is coming to WVU. What's going to happen?
I think if Kansas State's defense can shut them down the first couple quarters, I think they'll win the game.
So you're looking at another route?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking if Kansas State can control that defense and Geno Smith the first couple quarters, I think it'll be good because the crowd will calm down. It'll be good. But I think if they let Geno Smith start going up and that crowd to get crazy, they'll be like, oh my God, what hit us? You know. Now I think you picked that game. I think another big game is I said you got LSU going to Texas A&M. That's one of those fucking games where people don't think much about Texas A&M, but now LSU has to travel and they got to play the 18th ranked team in the country. You know, it's once again it's the fact that you know what, it's a tough fucking game. It doesn't matter. Like I mean, people are like, that's not. Yeah, it's not like playing Bama or it's not like playing Georgia or Florida, but it's still a fucking tough game.
And I'm gonna tell you what, Oregon's losing this week.
Who's Oregon playing?
Playing against the 5-1 Arizona State team at Arizona State.
Yep,
that might
be it. Yeah.
Now,
Oregon State might win the Pac-10 North.
They could. The other game that I think looks really good on paper, Texas Tech versus Texas Christian.
Yeah.
At TCU.
That's what, 22 and 23 fights?
17 versus 23.
Wow.
Dude, this for anyone who's not watching college football, can you tell me why you're not?
Yeah. I mean,
it's way more exciting than the NFL.
Unbelievable this year too. It's so good. And you know what? It's just building up everything for next year as well. But anyway,
yes, because next year we get motherfucking playoffs. Yeah. Playoffs.
Let's make it fun. Everybody, you know, the Florida versus South Carolina game.
Who you got?
I got Florida. George got South Carolina. Tell us who you got, and we're out. Deuces.